Where's everybody else?
Don't want to call up some of the squad?
I pinged him. I pinged
here.
The
squad.
The squad. I mean, sure, yeah, get him in here. I'm not gonna make new nameplates for everybody, but
no.
I'm way too lazy.
They haven't earned new nameplates. Aikado barely.
Yeah, just barely, bro. Yeah, you're grinding for it.
He doesn't even want LPP. He just wants that nameplate.
Bro, at this point, either one. Like, come on, I need something.
Give me a little something.
Dude, they would have got you in there so long ago if I wasn't hard blackballing you. You would have been in before you would have been in before me somehow. I want to hear about your crazy. Tell everyone about your stream for anyone that doesn't know, and tell me what happened.
So this weekend, I was like, oh, it'd be kind of fun. What if I just made an EU account and then just went from a fresh account to masters in one stream? That sounds like fun, right? Sounds like a nice grind. I did the math and I'm like, okay, so at like 100% win rate, I can do it in like 20 hours.
100% win rate, easy.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna do that, right?
Who loses
so I was
games?
doing the math down. They're like 70%. I'm like, okay, so it's probably gonna take like 26 to like 32-ish hours. Yeah, that's not crazy. That's not crazy. I figured I could do that in one go,
without sleeping.
Without sleeping, that was my plan, right? But then I queued it up. I started in like Saturday afternoon for some reason because I didn't want to get up in the morning. So so we go in and got Iron was a little bit rough. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I gotta have Iron, in like a lot of games, too many games.
Actually. You don't even lose
like
LP in Iron.
I know, which is oh my god.
What were you playing?
Okay, so I started out, I dropped like $30. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy Ahri Lulu because I want to play Ahri Lulu. I enjoy this deck a lot. I started out with that, and I'm playing a lot of Ahri Lulu, and it's like this shit's not working. I'm riding like a fucking 60 to 65% win rate and fucking Iron with this deck. That's not gonna work. So I spent like $5 and like just finished out scouts because you get like 85% of scouts literally for free with a fresh account.
Right.
So and I just played like scouts with fucking Lariat Rose, the 6-drop, and we kind of steamrolled from there for a long time. I went on a run where I won like 60 games in a row through like silver to diamond.
Jesus Christ! Like actually?
Yeah, like actually.
Wow.
Scouts is kind of broken.
I mean, we're pretty late into the season, also. Like,
what do you mean? Seasonals is in like 2 months, bro.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Diamond was a little bit rough again. I think I rode like a 65% win rate again through Diamond. It took a couple hundred games, or not a couple hundred, like maybe 80 games or 100 games to get through Diamond. At the end of the day, it took a total of like 46 hours. That's with 2 3-hour naps. Where I was
gonna say 2 3-hour naps. So you would not just wake up early to start your stream, but you would sleep for 3 hours, set an alarm, and then like I don't know, come back to the stream that was still going.
Yes,
for 3 hours.
What happened was I committed to the stream not cutting until we hit masters. So I got a couple people on. I got like the first one. I got like Sleepy Panda, who brought on like Cameron Hanzo and a few other people. And they just entertained chat for like 3 hours. And then I like woke up and I walked around for a little bit and I'm like, okay, let's go again. And I went for another, like 12, 13 hours. And it's like, okay, this isn't working. I need to go sleep again for like 3 more hours. So I got like Gilgar and Chekhov, and I think Max ended up coming on too. Which honestly, I think that the sleep podcast was really why most of the people were there. They were just waiting for it, right?
Yeah. That's frankly amazing. Was Gregory the Gray one of the people that you got on?
I don't think so. He was not one of the people who was on when I went to sleep or when I woke up. So I mean,
I gotta know. I gotta ask the real question here. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say he used your name to get out of jail free card, or like a note from the doctor, because like on our last podcast in the show notes, or what do you call the chapters, one of them was like, we'll finish later tonight.
It was 3 days ago.
And it never got finished, and it just went out like that. And I was like, yeah, bro, what happened here? He's like, Aikado needed me. I don't know.
The real question, how many subs did you get?
How many subs? So we had sub goals. At like 50 subs, I was like, okay, I'll do like a cosplay stream. At 100 subs, I was like, okay, I'll copy Majiin. I'll do a Runeterra rap. That sounds pretty fun. I figured at 150, I would shave my head. And obviously,
I would have donated 150.
Where were you, bro?
I didn't know you were doing that. I totally.
You gotta advertise this shit, bro.
For sure.
True.
I went to 1,000 to like shave my head. I got like to.
Okay, what happened?
Some
What
hundreds.
happened?
So obviously, I had my hair. We didn't quite hit 150. I think we hit like 120 or something. Which I was also doing like push-ups for every like 10 subs we got, which was a terrible idea because I can't do push-ups and I don't do push-ups. So I was like fucking dead after like 30. So we started doing like squats. I was dead after that. So I started like planking and I was like, okay, fuck it. I owe you guys the rest. Like I owe like 30 still or something. I'll do those whenever I stream next.
Doing a push-up challenge with 30 hours of no sleep.
It was, I thought it would just like keep
people
entertained and engaged. Like, because who wants to watch scouts for like 30 hours, right?
Bro. Yeah, nobody wants to watch scouts. But how many crickets did you eat?
How many crickets? I didn't eat any crickets. I should have though.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's the sauce, right?
What about disgusting jelly beans?
I didn't do that either.
No wonder.
I know.
No wonder it took you so long to get the Masters,
Mm-hmm.
and no one gave you subs to shave your head.
How quickly did you get to Masters, Jason?
Well, all I know is I'm far ahead of you on the ladder, which is what truly matters.
Are you?
Wow.
I don't know, but I'm just gonna guess.
I have like 100 LP. In Masters.
Bitch! I got like 180.
Oh,
what is this? All today.
I got it. But I got there with Mono Shurima.
Oh, whatever.
Not 200 LP, but into Masters. I have not been so hyped grinding the ladder for those last few games of trying to get into Masters with Mono Shurima was the most like intensely I've played the ladder since like the first time I hit rank 1 or something. I was
nice.
Fucking locked in, man. I was like, I have to get there. I have to.
Awesome.
So, Flora, I feel like you've done a couple different streams where you said, like stream ends, like no sleep until Masters or whatever, right? I feel like a couple of those have like ended before Masters. Is that true?
No, I left the stream on. Just no one watches it. It died somewhere at the bottom of Twitch. So bro, I literally made Masters like yesterday.
I was gonna say I thought I was getting there, but I didn't know you were in.
I was low key trying too. I wasn't like really trying, but I was trying hard enough, much more than I normally do, and it took me like 10 times longer than it normally does. And then also the last time I did it, I got fucking stream sniped a bunch, and I was real fucking salty about it. Otherwise, I would have made it. Next time.
One thing I could say about EU players, I don't know if they're just the craziest motherfuckers in the world, but there were definitely a couple people that I ran into over and over, continuing to run counter decks, and I'd be like, okay, well, I ran to this guy. I'm playing Ahri Lulu. They're playing Anivia. I ran to them like 4 times in a row. I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna play scouts. I swapped to scouts, and suddenly they're on, like some big Demacia stuff. They're on like Jace Lux.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Come on.
I see how this is. This is
yeah.
Win 4 games, switch off. Classic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just variance. I felt like playing this other deck.
I think I ended up doing it in like 270 games, I think is what it came down to. 270 games over like 40 hours of gameplay.
You should make a Reddit post about it.
Think so?
Yeah. I think people would I would like to see a post. That'd be something I'd scroll into and be like, ooh.
I need to read this. I need to know
how this happened.
I'll farm the Reddit karma.
Get that, those internet points that totally matter.
No, that's a good idea.
I was gonna say something else. I don't remember what it was though.
Oh, bro, I saw you playing Flesh and Blood. Yes. That simulator looks awesome.
No, Tabletop Simulator is sick. Yeah. It's like really cool.
Yeah, I want to do that and learn. Or I'll just backseat you, whatever. You can tell me what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
But that was fantastic.
We can do it tonight, whenever. I don't care. I mean,
we'll get that going.
I really like it. So something random that happened and keeps happening, and I just wanted to talk to somebody about it because I don't know.
We're people.
Since we're all streamers and stuff, I need to know if you guys get this question. I get asked probably every other day, be it on YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, if I'm gay. Sometimes every day.
Yeah. Are you, Majiin?
I mean,
I'm not. No, but
damn.
Apparently, I give off that vibe or something. I don't know, because I get asked all the time.
If you're an attractive man, people just gonna be throwing that out. That's just because first off, they're not asking you because they're like, yo, I wanna get up in there. What's going on, baby? How you doing?
Well, that's why
typically,
I
right? It's people are like trying to fuck with you, because they think it's an insult, which it obviously isn't.
I don't know. They're
and
really
that's what's going on
when they ask. They're always like, "Hey man, I was just really curious, just want to know."
Okay, well, sorry. I'm sure there are some. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's some people. Well, like, let's be real. I think most gay men would know. You know.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I have asked my gay friends about it because it happens so often. I'm like, "Do I give off the vibe?" And they're like, "No." Okay, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
But I'm also
I talk from experience
on
here.
Stream, so it might be different.
So I mean, I can say from my perspective, weirdly enough, I don't get that asked very often. But I'm very open about being ultra gay, you know. So I think people just
so
know.
They don't
at this
need
point.
to ask you. I get you.
Yeah.
When they see the constant stream of shirtless men walking out of your room, it gets the
absolutely. It just kind of gets exactly.
Yeah, next time I'm walking out, by the way, turn the camera off. That was awkward.
Okay. I'll cover it up for you, okay?
It's my private time.
We don't need Sharon seeing that. She might get upset.
Yeah, she'll get...
Anyway, that was my random aside. I don't have much to talk about today for the Runeterra show. I've been playing a bit for YouTube, and then that's it. I'm kind of just waiting for, like, the balance patch.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I played a lot of ladder. You know, weirdly enough, I played a lot of games of ladder in the last week.
Uh,
I do believe that, actually. How many hours would you like? 45
ish. Yeah.
Do you still want to play?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna turn on stream after this and play ladder.
Yeah,
I play this game too much. I want to play on my main where I actually have cards, so I don't have to play fucking scouts for 40 hours.
That does sound miserable. I think I would actually shoot myself. But I couldn't even play scouts for 5 games without being really upset.
Yeah, scouts is a lot less bad nowadays. Honestly, yeah. I used to hate scouts, but like with Sergeant being broken as shit, the new Challenger unit, the Sculptor, the 2-drop that gives everything else extra health.
Yeah.
The deck's a lot more dynamic than it used to be.
You do get to play a little more combo-y now, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. It wasn't that bad. And the deck's like really strong. But I want to play me some TF Nami. I want to play something else for a little bit.
Yeah, I've had a real interesting season from like a lot of not just like me not being able to make masters for forever, but also just like from the mental side of it. Like today, for instance, I can't remember exactly how I was trying to think about this or frame it, but basically I was like, imagine, we all want to play in Worlds, right? Majiin, you want to play in Worlds? Aikado, you want to play in Worlds? Everyone in the chat? Pretty much everyone wants to play in Worlds, right? And we're all just like, most of us are pulling Majiins over here, and we're like, oh man, once the next set comes out, we probably get closer to what the seasonals thing will be, and like we'll have time to climb then. It'll be fun. I'll enjoy it. That's when I'll like turn it up. But today I was like, nah, we're qualifying for seasonals right now. Like you just go be top 10, top 5, top like first on the ladder, for Worlds, I meant to say. Like you're head and shoulders above everyone else trying to qualify for Worlds. Remember when they did Worlds last year and we found out how the qualification worked after, and then all the guys that had those really high, like BBG and Kever, that had like the really high, oh, never mind, too soon, had the really high ratings from ranking, and it was just like, oh, just one more top 20 or top 10, like just walk into Worlds. I want that to be me. So I've been trying to like force myself to take it seriously and to I don't know, what do you call that? Like have some self-discipline with these goals in Runeterra. It's a delicate balance between trying to take it very seriously because you want it, and then also just ruining it and having like no fun whatsoever, and then hating it and wondering why you're even here. But I feel like lately I've been doing a good job of like trying to thread that needle.
Yeah, I think it's definitely weird. It doesn't feel like we're qualifying for Worlds, right? Like,
right?
Because they're so long until like Worlds, let alone like, this upcoming like seasonals or anything, right? But yeah, I mean, if people are climbing right now, like you can on EU, the rank one's like 800 LP or some shit. Like they need to fucking chill. What have you been playing? So are you committed to it? Are you like going to try and hit rank 1 in like the next week or couple weeks, or what's your plan?
No, so I think my plan is to just steadily climb.
Okay.
Because I get burnt out way too easily. If I'm just like, today I'm playing all day, I get burnt out. I stop playing well, and that's detrimental. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my baby's back. It's a little Ahri Kennen absolver running around them ladder, and I have been destroying some people with it, which feels very good. And I've been enjoying the deck quite a bit again, which is hilarious because who was it? MTuck was like, bruh, I got 75% win percentage over 20 games. I'm going off with this thing. And then I remembered back to the beginning of the season when I tried the deck and I was like, yeah, it's still pretty good. I like a 73% win percentage. And then I just put it down and never picked it back up again.
I've been telling people the whole time, Ahri Kennen's still really good.
I know. I played the Go Hard version a bunch. I was like, also like 70% win percentage. It was just like, nah, no one else has played them. They must be bad. Like, I don't know. Just like stop playing them for no good reason.
I did immediately put sign-in back in to the Absolver version.
Yeah.
2 sign-ins, yeah.
And sign-in's good, especially now that you aren't pulling droplet as consistently. I think having sign-in's pretty solid. And I played against Ultraman, who's sort of like the guy who he made like the tweet that I think got everyone else to try him out again. Yeah. I played against him on it, and like it seemed all right. He drew droplet, and he did Ahri Kennen things. Yeah. I'm so used to playing against the Go Hard version that like on turn 3 I swung my MF into like a Kennen because I'm like, oh, he can't do anything on like on 2 mana, and he fucking absolvered me, and I was like, dude, fuck off. Oh my god. Yeah, so I mean, I lost that game, but the deck seems all right. That's fine.
Yeah.
I was talking with Imtux. Imtux says that not too certain if it'll have as much longevity because it's a lot worse than like aggro now.
A lot worse. Yeah. It loses a lot of points.
Yeah, it's just a deck.
Yeah, it's a good deck though, but it is just a deck. Also Beast Llama, who's like rank 8 or something on the ladder, or was yesterday, had an 85% win rate over 20 games with Ezreal Karma. I played it and it punted away like 3 games in a row.
Don't give me hope like that.
Like immediately.
Yeah, 20 games is not enough to distinguish anything. Hey.
No.
20 ladder games is like...
I would like to point out that you just made the comparison with 20 games, 75% win rate on Ahri Kennen. But no, is it a ton? No, but like... No,
but what I'm saying is that he was all excited about having that win rate, and I did have that win rate also, and I was like, meh, whatever.
Yeah, no,
because it wasn't like 90% from last season, but so I was like, that must suck.
It's enough to go, okay, just gonna, all right. Now I will say, I do not, like, I'm a relatively intelligent person. I cannot play Ezreal Karma with Eye of the Dragon. It does not work in my brain.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't like it.
The way I want to play Ezreal Karma and the way you have to play Ezreal Karma with Eye of the Dragon don't work for me. It just doesn't. It doesn't click. Yeah.
I think it's just not good. Like sometimes it works. Like sometimes when you have the eye and you have the right cards, the cheap cards that you can proc your eye, and like, yay, it's awesome. But lots of times you get like an eye out, and then you have like 1 cheap spell and a bunch of like 4 casting spells. And like, yeah, you have to either just proactively use all your mana or just pass, and then like they just pass back, and like you get screwed, and that stuff happens all the time.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a fan of the Ezreal Karma version. Fallen Feline is like super goddamn good.
So good.
Yeah, Hexite Crystal's nuts at the moment. Well, it's just nuts, just like period. I honestly just not sure. Like, I like the deck and I will be playing it a bit, but I probably won't focus on it. Don't think it's what I'm gonna spend like a ton of time on or anything. I mean,
yeah.
Let's be honest. I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on anything until the balance patch. But the decks I have been playing, Mostly is Sivir Akshan. I just like it. Just feels fun. It's good.
Yeah, that's what I played. That's what I played to Masters actually.
It's just really good deck.
So Sivir's great, but we kind of have a hands down best deck of the format. I don't know if it's tier 0, but this Tristana Fae Yordle Arms deck
yeah.
is literally hands down the strongest thing you can be doing in the game.
Yes.
Not even close.
Agree.
Not even close.
Wow, you think it's not even close to tier 0 though, because tier 0 means you have no bad matchups, which it definitely has some.
What are its bad matchups?
I mean, that's a good question. I'm just saying. The thing is, I'm not versed enough because I don't really. I've beat it with just a bunch of decks.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure some of those are definitely bad matchups. Ahri Kennen. I think Ahri Kennen is a bad matchup. I haven't lost to it. I think.
Well, okay.
No,
the Absolver version probably does a lot better because you just get to like.
Yeah. Totally different because you just outrace them, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't have overwhelm.
Yeah. And they can't
interact. Oh, are we okay?
But like, so my interpretation of tier 0 is like a deck that's better than the rest, right? Like a step above the rest, and you have to look into rogue decks to get counters, or decks that like just suck against everything else, right? You have to like build a deck specifically to counter it, and like kind of counters it. So like Roju's saying Fiora, and like yeah, but like Fiora's bad, you know. Sorry, what am I? Fiora's bad. And
according to the stats, like it's bad matchups.
Okay.
Draven Rumble.
Yes.
Which I don't think that deck's good. I think that deck's really bad.
We are losing stream.
I'll give you that one.
Come back, stream.
Hello?
We're kind of still in here.
Baby, come back. Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah. Drumble, we will write off. Okay.
Draven Rumble's bad. Pantheon Yuumi is a 45% win rate. So I mean,
there you go. And that's like one of the most played decks.
Yeah, you're beating it 55% of the time. That's a good ass counter right there. And other than that, Fizz Lulu, the other Yordle and Arms deck, which nobody's playing because it like loses to.
I really like Fizz Lulu.
Loses to darkness.
It loses to darkness. Yeah, it loses to all the whale stuff that like the Tristana one just doesn't.
That's the issue with like the Fizz Lulu Yordle and Arms deck is like I think it's a really solid deck, but its matchup table is different from the Tristana one, and the Tristana one's just like better.
I agree with that. It's stronger. It's more reliable, I think. I think Fizz Lulu can be kind of awkward sometimes when it doesn't have its like, Lulu Chomper thing. And
it feels like it's more filler, right? Like there's like half the deck's real powerful, and there's like some filler, whereas the other deck is just like doesn't really matter which part you grab. It's all just gonna amalgamate and smash some face probably.
Yeah, basically. I think your bad hands with the Tristana version are just better than with the Lulu one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course you could just mulligan into like 2 Yordle and Arms, 2 rallies and be like, well, goddamn it. But
I think that's why Ahri Kennen is probably doing so well right now, Absolvers, because I'm pretty sure that's quite a good matchup.
It probably is.
It's supposed to be because Deny, pretty good against Yordle and Arms decks. But at the same time, sometimes you just get ran the fuck over, and you can't go ultra wide on turn 4 anymore.
They just play 4/1 owls that I can't interact with, and then they rally me, and I go,
you just block their 4/1 with a 1/1, and then like tell them to fuck off.
But they got 4 of them.
Well, that's okay. You've got 4 1/1s.
Not anymore. They
cloning that guy.
They nerfed my card. That's
well. Then so you play the landmark, you make another one, and you play one, and you search one, and.
It feels so bad doing the Kennen thing, and you're like, yeah. And then they just like play these like spell shielded owls, and you're like,
you don't care. Stop trying to kill their things, bro. You're just racing them.
Yeah,
you're like, hey, my stuff
faster.
Jump. No, they don't. They're like Yordle and Arms. You're like, that's adorable. I was gonna chump all your shit anyway. Just block that 10/10 and bounce my 1/1 back to my hand for 1 mana. Cool.
I usually don't lose to Yordle and Arms. I usually just lose to them playing things and then like rallying me, and I go.
Yeah, so with Go Hard, I would totally agree with you, but
I feel like
you just race them.
Is the Absolver version favored? Yeah, totally. I think it is. I haven't really played it much, but I'm going to assume it probably is. But
let's listen to you then instead of me, who's been playing it all day. But continue on.
Okay. I do not think you curb stomp that matchup. I don't think it's like 70-30 or anything, right?
No, I would agree, but like 60-40, I could see a 60-40 being reasonable.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Maybe even slightly better.
Perhaps, yeah. The owls
it's pretty good.
They're really good.
They're not a problem against that deck though, because you played 9 1-drops.
No, just period. Just the owls, Hungry Owlcat, period. Across the format, they can just be a problem. There's so many times I just can't deal with them. Right? You're playing a deck that like just has to block, and you just don't block well, and you're like.
Again, if we're talking about like stuff that's beating this deck, and we're talking about Ahri Kennen, like, I don't know, we're kind of falling down a tier list. I think if these are like the decks we're pulling out, that's like this is how you're beating it.
I would if you came to me and you said Tristana Yordle Arms is tier 0, I would not argue against you.
I don't know if it's actually tier 0 because like tier 0 is a meaningless thing because everyone has a different definition of what tier 0 actually means. So sometimes it depends on who you ask. But at the same time, I think it is just hands down the best deck of the format.
Yep. I wouldn't go out on Twitter and say Tristana Yordle Arms is tier 0, but I would not be able to tell you it's not. I wouldn't be like Roji does not agree. But like I don't know, man. Like tier lists are arbitrary and silly. Yes, but they get the point across.
So I don't think tier lists are arbitrary. I think that the definition of tier 0 is arbitrary. I think there's a difference.
Yeah.
Do we want Card Gamer or Shadawx to jump on and chime in on this? Because I believe they may have played these decks a bit.
I'm down for whatever.
Sure. Yeah, whatever.
All right.
I'm just here to argue with people.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm here to argue with people.
Oh, my bad. I took your job.
Majiin, I watched your Pantheon Yuumi video.
Oh yeah.
And in EU's all about Pantheon Yuumi. Okay. There's a ton of Pantheon on ladder.
Mm-hmm.
So I played against it. I feel like I played the exact same game like 20 times where, they just like, they play a unit on 2 or 3 and then they like drop a Yuumi on like turn 5 and suddenly they're killing me on turn 6. It just like happened over and over and over and over. I don't think the Yumi's like great, but it does make one thing really fucking big and sometimes helps you just raise shit.
Yeah, I agree. And like that's how I won with the deck basically is like it usually wasn't with Yuumi, but like you just stack up one thing and then you cataclysm them and you're like and then they die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's fine. That's kind of the conclusion I came into. I was just like, okay, it's fine. Like, the deck's really good, but, like, Yuumi specifically just feels like a spell taking up a champion slot. But, like, the other champions right now aren't super great.
Yeah, speaking of which, what happened to all the Gnar decks? Remember when Gnar was just in every single deck with everything and was everywhere? And, like, now it's like, I don't see a lot of Gnar running around.
Gnar's in the Tristana deck.
In the Tristana deck, yeah.
Doesn't count.
What?
I mean, Gnar's still like really fucking good, right? Like really good.
Yeah. I want to say I think I was right when I said that. Right when the format dropped, day 1, I tweeted out that Gnar is not as good as people think. I said I think he's the best champion in the set, and it's not even remotely close, obviously. But I don't think he's anywhere near broken, and I still stand by that. I think he's like really good. I don't think he's busted. He's not nearly as good as 4-3 Poppy was. Not even close.
Well, recently I tweeted out that I thought Majiin had really good takes, and he's not wrong that often, and I disagree with that now, and I probably should go delete that tweet because Gnar's fucking busted. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You can't prove it. I deleted it. You can't prove it.
Yeah, no, Gnar pretty good. One thing I've seen is a few people play Gnar, and they very specifically don't flip Gnar. So they'll like hold the Pokesticks and then like just keep refreshing Pokesticks by like throwing them at units or whatever. Or they'll wait until you play out a unit that is high priority for them to vulnerable, right? So they just kind of like hold your hand hostage by just never flipping Gnar, which I thought was really interesting. I think that the card's broken as shit. I think it's like super strong. I think getting like Pokesticks all the time is really good. But I like Gnar. I think Gnar's cool. I think he's good for the game. I like him.
I think we should nerf him.
I would prefer a 3. Okay, I was gonna say I would just prefer a 3/3 Gnar.
I don't think a champ that is allowed to be played in multiple regions should ever be a top 3 champ in the game.
Maybe.
I think I don't have to sacrifice power for flexibility.
I don't like making him a 3/3. I think that he just shouldn't have quick attack when he's flipped. Like a 6/5 overwhelm with quick attack is dumb as hell because you can't actually like, damage it, never kill it, right? So like
I agree with that.
I think he just needs to lose quick attack on Big Gnar, and then you can actually kill him, and I think it's fine.
Yeah, I like that. I like that better.
But yeah.
Right, if you're listening, rescind my previous request, please.
In before What Am I looks different jokes.
Yeah,
I was gonna make the joke, man. Come on.
Yeah, thank you. I grew out the long hair again, hoping it can bring back, a 2-1 serpent. The dream, bring it back a year ago.
Dude, 2-1 serpent.
Gamer in the house,
serpent's
ladies and gentlemen.
Too good. Come on, even I love serpent. I think 2-1 serpent's too good.
Oh yeah, it definitely was too good, but I would definitely be happy to play with it again until it gets played against me.
Yeah, I still can't believe Fangs has not seen the nerf revert yet.
Yeah, I don't think Fangs maybe deserved it, but I don't know, man. It could get a 1 health back or
dude,
1 attack
Fangs,
back, right?
Get Fangs out of here, but give Nasus fearsome again.
Fangs
poor
has
boy.
been gone. What do you mean get it out of here? We haven't.
No, because there's been so much Nasus seeing play.
Oh my god.
At least Nasus has been played this season.
Why just by me? Only by me.
Won a tournament with
he's actually
Nasus.
pretty good.
I think it's broken.
I was playing it and it was feeling pretty good. He does need fearsome again though. I think give it back for sure.
All right, Gabriel, what do you think about Tristana?
Tristana? I think the Tristana deck is quite good. It's probably, I would say it's the strongest deck in the field right now, in the meta right now. The rally combined with the Yai is super impressive because like in traditional like Fizz Lulu Yai, like Yordles and Arms, the Yordles and Arms turn is very oppressive because of how quickly they go wide, and this does a similar thing with the discounts. But generally you can stop it by going 6 wide with them and then just chumping it out and trying to refill. But the fact you can, as early as turn 6, go Yordles and Arms, trade down their board and rally is extremely oppressive. And Tristana can just get you there sometimes without Yordles and Arms, just due to the impact in growing your units.
Yeah.
I once thought I was winning against Tristana Yordle and Arms because I was able to like make a bunch of dudes and like block out everything, even against like a Yordle and Arms and a rally. And then Tristana hit my blocked unit and dealt me 7 damage because she had impact 7. And I was like, oh, damn, that's right. And then I died.
Yeah, that happens.
The Tristana deck, dude, I've had them literally on turn 4. Be like 5 wide and play activated Yordle and Arms. Dude, fuck that deck. I hate that deck.
What would you guys change? Something's gonna get touched, right?
Yordle and Arms needs to be like 10 mana, and Lantern needs to not be a fucking 3/3. Why is Lantern a 3/3? Dear God.
Yeah, we got Henneky in the house. What up?
What up?
I think Conchologist should be a 2/1. I think that card's really good. I want Bandle to get hit still.
Conk is not why Tristana's broken.
No, but I'm like I want Conchologist to be a 2/1. I want Catalyzer to be a 2/2.
I get behind these.
Yordle and Arm should be 6 mana.
Yeah, what are you? What are you changing in the Tristana deck though? Like, does Yordle and Arms go to 6, or does it just give like +3/+3 on the bonus, or do you need like a 5th region? Is that even the card you change? Is it maybe just all the units that need some tweaking?
I'm honestly not sure. What do you guys think? I'm gonna pass this one to you guys first.
So, go ahead, Shadawx.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually didn't mind making it 5 regions instead of 4.
That's actually I didn't even consider that. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, and like just the other day, I learned that Yordle and Arms doesn't only count units; it counts spells too.
Yeah.
So yeah. I've been like throwing games like millions of times.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I found that out when I cast something off Conchologist, I think it was, and I just like got there and I went, oh, huh. It took me up, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people like literally sharp sight just so that it activates it, right? It's silly.
I think that was the card. It was sharp sight.
Yeah. It's just like any card from that region activates it if it comes into play in any way. So like I've had games where I've activated like Yordle and Arms off of like Poro Sled or Yordle Portal, just hitting like a random last region and you just turn it on. It's a bit silly in that regard, and I could definitely see like making that like cost a little bit higher, kind of more in line with like how Bandletree takes it. You need to like actually play it, or like a 5th region. Another thing I like about the 5th region is I think it hurts the Tristana, like Demacia Rally version, a lot more than the other versions of the decks that would play it. And I think while the card is unfair, I think the Tristana version like abuses it the most. So I like hitting that one a little bit more.
So I just spent like, 200 and some games playing for Demacia, which I think is a broken fucking, like, it's insane card, right? Yeah. Like Sergeant's insane. But when I'm spending 6 mana to get +3/+3, and these Yordle fuckers are spending 5 mana to get +4/+4, fuck off, dude. That shit needs to at least be 6 mana. At least be 6 mana.
To be fair, your card was free and came off a 3/4 for free.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Doesn't get free cards. Okay. Yeah.
Never.
But
never
no,
generates anything.
Dear God, that card needs to get nerfed into the fucking ground. Fuck this. These reasonable takes of like, what if it went to like 5 regions?
Yeah.
No, I want it to be unplayable. That shit is broken.
Yeah, just make it 10 regions, right? Make it 10 different regions.
I like that. That's a good.
We'll compensate them. We'll make it give +5/+5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. I think that like the thing that I dislike the most about it is like, you can no longer play like a board-based game plan against these Demacia decks. The Demacia decks with like the 4 Demacia and the Bandle decks with Yordle Gnars, because like unless you're doing something equally like Demacia busted, like Pantheon, or like maybe Sivir Akshan, depending, their board is always just going to be greater than your board because they have these like board-wide pumps, and maybe that's fine. I just don't like it.
It's like, okay, you remember how Jordan always talks about how in like Acel mirrors, he's like, oh, I'm gonna tech in the Sky's Descend because that's the mirror breaker. We just set up these boards, we stare at each other, and then I one-shot their board and I win, right?
I do remember. For
Demacia is the exact same thing, because it's like, fuck you, you have to trade down your entire board to me right now. And if I rally, you lose the game. Like, it's just, it's broken. It's so insane in these mid-range mirrors. It's so insane.
I'm with you. Yeah, that's how I feel about it too.
Do you guys think there's we were just talking about, are there any is this just on a deck tier 0? Are there any like top decks that have a good matchup into it?
Pantheon.
Yeah.
I think Pantheon's pretty solid into it.
What were the stats? We just looked them up.
45% win rate into Pantheon.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Technically, that's what we get in LOR, though, right?
That's a favorite. That's you're winning your coin flip a little bit more than you're losing it, Pog.
I don't know. I know for sure Pantheon can be teched for it too, right?
Yeah, Roji keeps telling us confront. He's just typing it in chat over and over until we acknowledge it. I used to play confront in the Shyvana Pantheon for matchups like this, for Yordle Arms matchups, and it was always really good.
Yeah, but I don't think it's I want to say it's tier 0. Tier 0 is like, how do I explain it? It's like you either have to play it or you have to play some really weird ass shit to beat it. That's how I'd like say tier 0 is.
There's probably only been 3 tier 0 decks since I started playing, maybe.
That's what we're trying to figure out. Like, are there like top decks without getting like really weird fringe stuff? Like, are there like top meta decks? Like, I don't know, the top 10 decks. Are there ones that do have legitimate good matchups into it?
I think I'm gonna ignore your question for a second, but I think it's the best deck in the format. I think someone said this in chat earlier too. I think it's the weakest best deck we've had in a while, but I still think it's the best deck. I think it is ahead of its peers by a smaller margins than the other best decks we've had recently.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
What was your question again?
I'm thinking back. Well, we were trying to figure out if it actually, because you guys were saying it was tier 0, and I was like, nah, stuff beats it. And you're like, what? I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't play that deck, but I just beat it with stuff.
So Lee beats it, right? I think if we're looking from like a tournament perspective, like you could probably make a Lee deck, like a Lee lineup that's like probably pretty solid into it.
I kept losing to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would Tristana so I don't know, you'd have to like you have to get your Eye of the Dragons, and you have to have 2 to 3. Because they don't care about 1.
I mean, 2's an average roll, right?
Yeah, 2's pretty standard.
2's an average roll.
I've only played against it like 3 or 4 times, and I lost like I think 2 to 3. I lost more than I won, and that was more probably on variance than anything else. But like, it was the owls, man. They would just play a bunch, and then they'd like they'd throw a pokey stick at my Dragonling, and I'd be like, God damn it.
Another important card, I think, in that is White Flame plus Sonic Wave, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Just to remove like a Tristana or a Grandfather in any of those.
Yeah.
So ladder stats, and this is Lee Sin on ladder, so you know it's a little bit lower than it should be. It's 60-40 for Lee.
Hell yeah. Going back to Lee, baby. Lee, the Scouts matchup now feels pretty bad though.
What a
like,
roller
you have
coaster,
to be
right?
on like at least 2 White Flame. The Broadwings are rough for your eyes. Like, that's not fun.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
I hate that card. I'm not a fan of that card.
In that, like, I feel like forever Scouts was like the Lee counter. Like, you just play Scouts and you're gonna beat Lee. And then like White Flame came out and it's like, oh, this is not a winnable matchup. This is not a cool matchup. And now it's like, okay, but we got Broadwing back. You know, we can win this now.
I think actually the like inclusion of the Sergeant is the biggest reason I lose that matchup now, is because my denies get taxed more. Like, I have more must deny targets, right? Like, before I would just survive on my eyes, and even if you have Broadwing, I can keep my eyes alive, right? But now that you have another card that I have to deal with, it's really tough.
Yeah, Sergeant's correct.
Sergeant's I put out a tweet. I think Sergeant's literally better than Misfortune in the Scouts deck. I don't even think it's close. I think Sergeant is so fucking good in that deck. Like, yeah. I want to make a lineup of just like 9x Sergeant. Yeah. So I did the math. I made up like 20% or like 15 to 20% of the Scouts games in EU, which is pretty wild. You know,
was it a 3-3 before?
It was a 3-3 before.
3-3.
Yeah.
Dude, how does it go from like seeing almost no play to like just so busted with like 1 point of toughness?
Well, you used to just play 4-3 Merciless Hunter in that slot because it was Demacia Shurima. And yeah, and then that got nerfed. So and the Sergeant got buffed kind of near the same time. I think it was like Merciless Sergeant. But then people started putting Sergeant into stuff.
Yeah, I guess everything else became worse, right? So before Demacia became bonkers.
There's such a huge difference on turn 3 of having 3 health versus 4 health.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah. No,
and like, he still has 3 attack, right? It's not like you're playing Protege out that's like, okay, we can't really trade into 3/3s. No, Sergeant is the strongest thing you can play on turn 3. It's going to block everything. It's going to trade into everything, and it gives you a win condition.
Yeah,
card's just so good.
All right, so nerf it. You heard it here first.
No, dear God, if it gets nerfed before Yordle and Arms, I'm quitting the game. Just straight up. I can't do that, bro.
Can I get that in writing?
Absolutely. There's no fucking way he gets nerfed before Yordle and Arms.
I mean, they just buffed him. I don't think they'll nerf him.
If I trade Sergeant for Yordle and Arms, I'm down for it. But oh my God, if I lose Sergeant,
I do want to see a lot of changes in this balance patch.
Here's my hot take on like decks that have come back. Caitlyn Ezreal.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are playing Caitlyn Ezreal. I think this deck's bad. I don't think it's good.
It was a Scouts counter.
Agreed.
And people are not playing Scouts as much now, and it has been much less good in the last couple of days.
It's just
what's the stats on that versus Tristana?
46%.
Yeah, not good.
Or Caitlyn Ezreal. It is. You get blown out by 1 Ranger's Resolve, and you just lose the game instantly.
You also can't beat the goddamn fucking owls.
Mashid really doesn't like the owl.
I don't. They're 4/1s with hexproof. Why? They're free.
Even if they didn't have spell shield, like all of your removal costs like 2 to 5, and all their units cost like 1, 2, and they cap out at 3. It's just like you can't keep up. You like can't kill them fast enough, let alone having spell shield.
Yeah, and then the spell shield means you basically have to trade with them, like you have to block them, and I don't like to play units, so that makes it really tough.
It's well documented.
Yep. I hate that. I hate those guys. I don't like playing against these decks. Not even a little bit.
Shadawx Card Gamer, what are you guys playing on the ladder right now? Give us your thoughts on the meta, what you've been playing.
So Aikado wouldn't be too happy with me, but I've been playing a lot of Yordling Arms. I play the fair version. I don't play Rally. I play cool burn spells and Lulu. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Fizz Lulu. I think it's really well positioned. I think Lulu Chompers is like really strong into pretty much the entire field, and the decks that you don't really want to be doing Lulu Chompers against, you can just spam out units and play Yordling Arms and kill people.
Nice. Yeah, I like that deck.
I think I just reached Masters like last week, and I was just playing like Aksha and Renekton, the Papercraft deck, and Draven Rumble like the whole way from like Diamond up. And then now I'm just trying different things, like Mono Poppy, Freljord, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the classics.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. We all know that.
Classics.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, you can tutor Poppy with Entreat. It doesn't sound bad,
Is that right?
Yeah.
Can spend 6 mana on your 2/3.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember a couple seasons ago when somebody 9-0'd seasonals with Poppy Braum with FTR, bro? You could just play that, except without Braum. That's
There we go.
That?
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened.
That deck was so bad.
I'm pretty sure it was an Apex. I mean,
Oh, shots fired.
yeah. So Papercraft. I feel like this was a deck that was like huge. We thought it was like broken, and then people like stopped playing it. I never started playing it, so I'm not like super familiar with it. Is this deck still good, or like, tell me about it?
It's still pretty decent. I think it did like usually in the first week, like anything can do well, right? Just because novelty, people don't know what's going on, people don't know what's to do against certain decks, right? Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of the novelty from that deck wore off, but I still think it's just like your typical OTK deck, right? You can still just Papercraft and get through and win, right? So it's still pretty solid. And I think Renekton's better than Sivir in there.
And
better than Gnar, sorry.
Yeah.
Really?
That was
you can just slam it.
Was talking about Renekton versus Gnar.
You just go Renekton 4, Papercraft 5, and then like some decks just die, right?
Because you can't play Gnar on 4. Good point. Good point.
Gnar doesn't have Overwhelm, right?
Well, you can block it with a 1/1.
Oh, you can't block Renekton and like kill him in combat? Like
it has Overwhelm.
So does Gnar.
And Quick Attack. No, Gnar has to level up to get Overwhelm. You smooth brain beauty.
You're right. He doesn't get a pokey stick on strike that lets me level him up for free. You're right.
I totally believe you that Renekton could be better.
So you're playing.
I don't know.
Let me get this straight.
Let
me get this straight. You're playing your Gnar out. Your opponent's attacking with a 2 or less power unit, and then you're blocking and getting a pokey stick, and then poking them in the face that was some mana that you have chilling, and then your Gnar doesn't die, and then you Papercraft like the 1 toughness Gnar, and then it also doesn't die, and you attack them.
Well,
that's what happens in your games.
If you're flipping it, it's not 1 toughness.
Yeah,
it's like 3
stupid.
toughness. And you Papercraft it, and it's like 5 toughness, and double attack, and Overwhelm. I mean,
who attacks into a Gnar? You're insane.
Well, so it's weird that you think that I have to block on 4 because I could also just play out the bomber guy on turn 1.
No, that card doesn't exist, and you can't float mana either.
Also,
okay,
you don't
actually. You're right. Then, now that you mention it, I'm on board. Renekton broken.
Thank you. Shadawx, talk to me about eggs. How good is eggs right now?
No.
I think it's pretty bad right now.
Yeah, all right.
That's a hot take. Are you sure
as long as like these, as long as Yordling Arms and like the scout piles and rally piles are around, it's not going to be fun for you.
What does it beat?
Anything that can't kill you.
Anything slower than that. So like if we see something like I don't know, like
darkness though. Like what about a deck that has a lot of removal?
Oh, it'll slap darkness. It should just slap darkness.
Yeah, darkness's removal doesn't quite work against it as well as it too. It's really good into like Lee Sin, Feel the Rush, Anivia, anything really slow.
Yeah.
Real slow.
Eggs is weird in that like it beats literally any deck in the game that cannot kill you by like turn 6 or 7, right? because you're gonna combo off on like 6 or 7 like almost every game.
I find that to be like super theory based. I think like what actually happens is sometimes you just straight combo off and you get them, and it doesn't even matter if they're playing like spiders or aggro or like pirates or something. Like if you just go off fast enough, you just get them. I beat aggro once, and then sometimes I'll lose to like slower decks because my deck just doesn't do anything. Sometimes you've got like a 2/2 and a bounce spell and like a counter spell, and then you're just facing down like I don't know, like a random 5/5. You just get your face beat in, and you're like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, I mean it's a card game still, right?
Yeah, you definitely get those hands.
You draw like 3 actions and 3 of the 0 casting cost thing that looks for the right of whatever that looks for auctions.
Bro, if you draw 3 auction, that's a nut hand. You're good to go, homie.
I mean, like,
your one auction, just one. Your auctions are just gonna keep going the whole way.
You just start hitting things, dude. Flip them so easy.
Yeah. I'm trading into I'm trumping everything, bro. I'll just keep replaying them.
Dude, they're all Mars. Everything has quick attack.
Even against aggro, you're like I'm not saying it's like an instant lose, right? It's just harder. That's all. Like you said, you can just still like if you can survive. You just combo off and it's over for them, right?
Yeah, it seems like the deck really just wins or loses like kind of on its own merits. I mean, obviously it's really difficult to play also, but like sometimes it just comes together and sometimes it doesn't. I think eventually enough cards will get printed that like it'll become a problem. I think the deck will be like it's one of those decks that's like not good enough and it's gonna be like way too good eventually.
Yeah, it's one of those decks where I'm pretty sure they're gonna forget about it and they're gonna print something and it's gonna be like, oh wait a second, and then it's over. Yeah. Like Godwillow was like pretty scary when it came out.
Yeah.
What was it originally? Countdown 2?
Countdown 2.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild, huh? What's up with that?
Yeah, like it was a good addition to the deck. Like I think it was in RA, like in the finals when I was playing Infinite, that I got to like pop the landmark on turn 4 because I Godwillowed the 3-drop and just instantly flipped it on the Vagabond. So like you can do like crazy things like that.
That is pretty crazy. Yeah, because it discount 2. That's that's nasty. Dude, the like day 1 Kennen Ezreal deck was like so insane. It was so insane, bro. People like every time I bring that up, I'm like, Kennen Ezreal was one of the best decks we've ever seen, and people come into my chat and they're like, bro, no, that deck sucked, man. My deck countered that deck so hard. I'd be like, shut up, get out of my chat. Like this deck was bonkers.
So I think the interesting thing about the Kennen Ezreal deck is we only saw it for a few days. But like we didn't figure out that like Simon was broken yet. Like some people are playing it as like a one of, and it's like okay, it's like a cute one of. It's not that good. Turns out Simon was broken. If we had realized that, but come on. Okay, so he was really good. It was really good. But I remember that weekend, I kind of farmed the shit out of that deck. Like it was beatable. I think it was ultra beatable.
People didn't know how to play it though.
That is so.
Like, it took a hot second to figure out.
I think that it's so hard to say if it was ever actually like this tier 0 menace because we just didn't see it for more than 5 days. I think if it lasted in that state for like 2 weeks, it'd be like okay, yeah, this is like insane.
I think it would have been Ahri Kennen Gohar. I think it would have been a deck that was really good, and then Whatami would have figured out the right build and ratios, and it would have been busted.
Shellfolk beat it though, so I mean,
I think we need to have Shellfolk versus Ahri Ezreal Kennen showdown here. Bay versus Aikado. I think there needs to be a grudge match.
Like right now.
Like right now, everyone clear the tables.
With like broken, with like nerfed Ezreal Kennen. And
get the old patch somehow. Gonna revert. Who still has it? It's out there. Do you think they'll do that one day? Do you think they'll do like some sort of weird classic format, which is like all the cards original?
I think it would
like
be
fast speed rally.
Horrible. Like it would be so hard for them to do that coding wise. Is the main
really
problem. Like they could do a lab or something, right? But like
maybe like a lab,
It would be
yeah. I meant like as a funsy thing.
I think it would be a lot of work for them. Like a lot of work.
I mean, they also like explicitly refuse to do this in League. People have been talking about that forever, right? Yeah. It's like, oh, what if we just went back? Right. And then they're like, oh, this would take too much work. And then someone was like, okay, well, we as fans will make the game and we'll like do it, right? Like we'll just make our own client and people will be able to play, like back in season 2. And then they cease and desisted that. So I think Riot's very strictly against stuff like that. So,
okay, but to be fair, League is apparently made on spaghetti code, and the real question I wanted was, will it be fun? Like, would that be interesting? Do you guys think that would be fun, or would it be stupid?
Be miserable.
You get fastly rallied on and fucking.
It'll be fine for like the first couple games. That's it.
Yeah, you'd be like, this is dope, and then it'd be like Magic was with Modern for a while. I don't know how many Magic players we have here, but like where it was just like 2 decks just like racing past each other. Like you would just straight up ignore each other and just.
TFS and the Zirai Rally just fucking racing each other.
Wouldn't
that be fun?
Be awful.
What would be the best? That's like, is that what it is? Is those two? I don't even know. Wasn't there some busted stuff like way back
how
before
far
we played?
back are we going?
Yeah, it depends if you're going back.
All the way, baby.
I don't know then because I don't even know what the cards were like back then.
I mean, you're a 3/3 quick attack challenger.
No way, she.
I'm sorry, this bitch had quick attack and challenger.
I'm fairly certain I remember her having quick attack.
Fuck off, no way.
I think I've heard that from the closed beta. I wasn't around back then, but I've heard like horror stories of like old Fiora, like old Draven, old the Box. Like some of these cards were not okay.
Yeah, miss rates are like pretty good too, you know.
Wasn't he? What the fuck?
Oh yeah, Draven was a 4/3. Yeah.
Missed rates, yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, that's wild.
Gross. I don't know what the best would be. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, people would say TF probably because that's like the standard answer, but I think TF struggled against things that were able to solitaire faster than them.
Yeah.
And a lot of these
Ezreal Elnux maybe.
Basically anything that like forced them to block when they like didn't want to. Because there are a lot of these older decks that would force them to like start blocking. And I think it would probably struggle against those.
Yeah, is miss rates stopping, like, you know, TF flipped on turn 5 every game, or
I
what?
did not say miss rates. You did not hear miss rates come out of my mouth.
I forgot how quickly TF was flipping in that deck.
Turn 5.
I just had like you're like flip on 5. I just had like like flashbacks of it happening a bunch of like, oh, how are they doing it again? Now they're going off. How many times did you sit there and watch your opponent just go off?
Today in the game right now, I flip TF on 5 like relatively consistently. If you tap out on turn 4, I'm going to flip TF on turn 5.
Yep.
What?
It happens to be like a TF flips on 5 in the TF Nami. If you have no interaction and I don't have to do anything on your turn, I will. Like you're gonna flip TF on 5 more often than not.
Yeah. It still happens a lot.
It sucks. I hate it.
But it's just funny when you take that and then you think back to previously, pick a card drew you 3 cards. And
oh my god, I forgot.
1 mana.
5.
And
you were 5.
And you only had to hit 8. Like it was just no.
Yeah, I forgot. It cost 3 though, but still.
It did cost 3. Nowadays you can double pick a card on turn 4.
Yeah,
so, I mean
that's usually the move.
Dude, I remember when I first came to Runeterra. It was like day 2 basically of me learning about Runeterra. I was reading through the cards. It was like pick a card, 3 mana, draw 3 cards. I was like, what? Like, did they not know? Did nobody tell them? And then like I started playing the game and just nobody played this card. It saw 0 play, and I was like, I guess it's not good. I don't know.
Spells cost too much mana.
Yeah, that must be it.
I mean, pick a card going +1 was really nice, and now it doesn't even go +1. It's depressing.
That's true, huh? It's just even on card advantage.
Yeah.
Yep. I just want just a bunch of nerfs and a bunch of buffs, and I want to play some random stuff, and I'm so excited for the champion changes. I'm so excited for that. I feel like that's really going to shake things up. We talked about that a bit before, but yeah, very excited.
I'm excited for a lot of it. It was like basically at the end of this month, it's really going to pop off.
Yeah,
it's going to go a huge patch, then champion changes, huge patch, into seasonals, into like these crazy new champions. I'm not like, I don't know, I don't normally get pretty hyped for spoilers and whatever, but Jhin and other champs like Jhin, I'm like, oh, they're taking stuff in a whole new direction, because he's not the only one that does that. It's going to be like a line
of Runeterra champs or whatever.
Yeah, and that's just like the first thing that they're doing now that all the regions are released. So like, to me, that really speaks volumes to like, they're going to start taking things in all kinds of new directions. It felt like they're kind of like shackled by like what they had to do, like getting all the regions like up and running, and now they get to go have some fun and take the game in new directions. So,
which I think is what Runeterra needed. Like Runeterra, complexity wise, like before we started playing, it was a very simple game, and now it's getting more and more complex as we go along. But like, the one thing that really stood out to me when I went and played the Vintage Cube today was like how interesting a lot of the things in Magic are. Right? A lot of the strategies and the cards and the interactions are incredibly interesting, which is not really the case in Runeterra. Some things are, but not very many. But I think this is a step in the right direction. And I've long said that I think once they fill out all 10 regions, then they'll go deeper with things. Yeah. And I think this is a sign that that's what we're going to get. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I didn't really believe you. I was like, nah, they'll probably just keep doing the same thing, and they'll just release sets where it's just like everything gets a little bit of something, and they just like, put a little spice here or there. But like now after seeing Jin, I'm like, I'm with you. I'm like, oh, I feel like they're gonna flex some like creative muscle to like bring the game in some new interesting directions, because that's what Magic does. If anyone doesn't know, Magic releases a new set every 3 months, and it has to be like basically brand spanking new. Like a lot of the stuff in there is stuff you've never seen before, and like kind of blows your little freaking mind. And I think that's where Runeterra is going. I'm on the Majiin. They're gonna get crazy bandwagon.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like everything we've had up until now, it was pretty much just the beginning, right? It's the base set of the game, basically introducing all the regions, and now, like you said, they can start doing all the weird, crazy shit, like Jin, and like whoever else they're going to decide to put as a Runeterra champ. And we all know they're going to have weird, what did they say? Deck building, like restrictions
like
or
a deck building. Yeah, it takes the place of a region or whatever.
Yeah. So like, who knows like what else they'll want to do, right? And then from there, who knows what they're going to do after that? Like, there's so much more to come in the game, and yeah, like this is just the beginning.
Yeah, very excited. All right, anything else we wanted to talk about before we wrap up? Anything you guys got to say?
Tournaments. Everyone come join our tournaments. We got Wednesday, Friday, Sunday for Americas, and we got, for all you Europeans, we got a tournament on Thursday for you guys as well. So come, enjoy. These might be the last ones we do for the rest of the month, because we chillin' until that big patch comes out, and then things get exciting for April. So come, have some fun. You can find all the links in Discord.
All right. Thanks, guys, for coming on. Thank you, chat, for showing up. Appreciate you guys. See y'all later.
Bye.
See ya.